Hello students, this is week 5 and the topic for this week is digital media metrics. Let's go over the learning guide. This week we have two topics, digital media metrics and digital brand analysis. And for learning objective we have understanding digital metrics and KPI. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator. So KPI are a group of metrics that you select to monitor the performance of your campaign. Let's cover the reading materials and the assignment for this week. For reading materials, we have 3 PDFs that will prepare you for the first assignment. I'll go over the first assignment in a second. And then we have chapter 4 that deals with the digital brand analysis and prepares you to take the discussion board assignment. So for the first assignment is a series of exercises, and your task is to calculate some metrics based on some elements that I'm providing you. This is all done on an Excel sheet. In this segment, I will cover the most important metrics used to track digital advertising campaigns. Let's start with paid search or pay-per-click. These are advertising done on search engine. Search engines are very popular advertising platform. They allow you to display ads that are relevant to what users are searching for. And pay-per-click is an advertising model that you only pay when somebody clicks on your ad. So if your ad shows up here, you don't pay anything. Only when somebody clicks on the ad, then you pay a certain amount of dollars to Google. So let's look at this example of a Google ad. If somebody's looking for a hotel in the California area, you might use a keyword like California hotel. The results can be only organic, but it can be also paid results if anybody is using those keywords in their paid search campaign. So in this case, these two hotels are using California hotels as keywords in their campaign. The 3 most popular paid search engines are Google, Bing, and Yahoo. All the 3 platforms offer paid search advertising, and they all basically work the same way. Google is the number 1 in the world, so most of us use Google as the primary platform to do paid search advertising. This is another example of a Google ad. In this case, the keyword is Master of International Business. The ad looks pretty much like an organic result, as you can see here. And the goal for this campaign is for somebody to fill up the form. So we have to create a landing page with a form. And we call this type of campaign lead generation campaign. So let's start with the metrics for display ad campaigns. The first metric is impression. That's the number of times your ad is served. So that metric alone doesn't mean a lot, but it's a metric that we use to calculate other metrics and KPIs. Clicks are the number of times people click on your ad. Click-through rate shows the percentage of people who saw your ad and click on it. And the way you calculate this is by dividing the total number of clicks by impressions and then multiply by 100. Conversions are the most important metrics of all. And they are counted whenever you use clickers in your ad and then takes an action that you have defined as your goal for the campaign. That can be a visitor to a specific page on your website, a form sign up, a lead that you generate, and so on. Costs, total spend, is the overall cost of your campaign. It's how much money you have spent on that campaign and for a period of time. Another important metric is cost per click. This is an average that you're going to be charged per click. And the way you calculate this, you take the total cost of your campaign and divide by the total number of clicks. And cost per conversion is also a very important metric, and is the average you've been charged for a conversion from your campaign. The way you calculate this is the total cost or the total spend of your campaign divided by the total conversions. So let's move to social media marketing. This is an example of a Facebook advertising. This is an ad that can appear in your feed or maybe on the right sidebar of your personal profile. These are display advertising banners. Basically, it works the same way. You place those in different websites. Can be a sports website, can be a CNN website, Fox News website, and any other website. And the goal on this campaign is for somebody to click and then end up in a landing page. In this case, the goal for this campaign is again to generate leads. So it's for somebody to fill up this form so we can generate leads and then market those people in future campaigns. So let's go over the metrics of paid social in display advertising. Impressions, again, the number of times that your ad is displayed. Reach is the number of users that your ad reaches. Me as a user, if the ad is served to me, it's counted as one reach. But if that same ad is showing to me, like let's say 5 times, that's counted as 5 impressions, but still one reach. So that's why in any campaign, you end up with a lot of impressions and very few reach, because the reach is the number of people that you actually reach with your campaign. Clicks, again, the number of times that somebody clicks on your ad. Click-through rate shows the percentage of people who saw your ad and click on it. Again, the way you calculate this is the total amount of clicks divided by the impression multiplied by 100. Another metric is cost per clicks, but most digital campaigns and social media campaigns don't use cost per click. They use CPM, which stands for cost per mil. Mil is a Latin word for thousands. So CPM means that you're going to be charged not per clicks, but by impressions, by 1,000 impressions. Usually it works like this. If somebody tells you the CPM for a campaign is $10, it means that you're going to spend $10 for each 1,000 impressions. And the way you calculate this is the total cost of your campaign divided by 1,000. Cost per conversion, again, one of the most important metrics. It's the average that you've been charged for a conversion from your ad campaign. The way you calculate this is the total spend or total cost of your campaign divided by the total conversions. So let's move to email campaign metrics. Open rate. Open rate indicates the number of emails opened compared to the total emails delivered. The number one element of an email that prompts somebody to open an email is the subject line. So if your open rate is low, you may consider create a new subject line, a more appealing one, and resend that email. Open rate is calculated by dividing the total emails opened by the total emails delivered times 100. Click-through rate. This is the number of clicks on the links contained in an email message divided by the number of emails delivered. If a good open rate indicates a good subject line, the click-through rate is determined by the email's content. To calculate click-through rates, you divide the total emails clicked by the total emails delivered times 100. Bounce rate is totally different than what you learn on Google Analytics. Bounce rate here is the percentage of email that did not get delivered. The error can be many things. If the email does not exist, it's called hard bounce. If it's just a temporary non-delivery, like the server had an error, a temporary error, or the mailbox was full, it's called a soft bounce. Unsubscribe rate is the percentage of users who haven't subscribed email. You want that number to be as low as possible because you don't want people to unsubscribe your email. If the unsubscribe rate is too high, that means the content of those emails are not relevant to your audience. And that's the reason they probably decided to unsubscribe. Conversion rate. Again, if you have a goal, you calculate the conversion rate the same way you calculate the conversion rate for the other campaigns that I described a few minutes ago. Another important metric in marketing is customer lifetime value. So what is customer lifetime value? Customer lifetime value tells companies how much revenue or profit they can expect from one customer during the course of a business relationship. So the longer the customer continues to buy from that company, the greater is their lifetime value. So this is the formula to calculate the customer lifetime value. It is a two-step process. First, you have to calculate the lifetime value, and then when you have that value, you calculate the customer lifetime value. To calculate the lifetime value, you need 3 data points: average value of sale, number of transactions, and retention time period. Let me explain. Average value of sale is the average value per each transaction. So for example, if a customer comes to a pizzeria and buys one pizza for $10, and then a second customer comes to the same pizzeria and buys 2 pizzas for $10 each, the total sale would be $30, 20 plus 10. And then you divide that $30 by 2, it's 15. That would be your average value of sale. So that would be the average value per each transaction. Then you have the number of transactions. That's the frequency of transactions. So that's how many transactions you expect a customer to have with your business during a period of 1 year. Then lastly, retention time period. So that would be the average of years a customer remains loyal to your business. Then once you get that value, then you calculate the customer lifetime value, which is lifetime value times profit margin. For example, that same pizza that costs $10, that's not your profit margin. To calculate your profit margin, you have to subtract how much it costs to produce that pizza. If the cost to produce the pizza is $8, your margin is only $2, so your profit margin is 20%. I know it seems complicated, but it's not complicated. So let's break it down step by step together. I have an example and we're going through the example, and I'm sure that at the end you're going to understand how to calculate customer lifetime value. So this is a pizzeria and their average sale is $21.95. That means the average value per each transaction is $21.95. And they have a 22% profit margin. And the average customer orders per year 2.4 pizza during a period of 3 years. So let's calculate the customer lifetime value for this pizzeria. So back to the formula, the first element we need is the average value of sale. Back to our example, the average sale is $21.95. So we're going to place here $21.95. Then the second element we need is the average transaction, the frequency of transactions. So we know the average customer orders 2.4 pizzas per year over a 3-year period. So here the number of transactions is 2.4 pizzas per year. Then we know the period here is 3 years. Then you multiply these 3 elements and the result is your lifetime value, which is $158.04. So you take that value and place it right here to calculate your customer lifetime value. Then you need the profit margin. So let's go see what the profit margin for the pizzeria is. The profit margin for this pizzeria is 22%. So the 22% goes right here. Then all you have to do is multiply $158.04 times 22%. So the customer lifetime value is $34.77. Not as complicated as you thought. So let's go over the digital media metrics assignments that I have for this week. I have a couple of links here if you need to brush up in the basic Excel functions. So let me go over the file that you need to download, and this is the file. And your task is to calculate the missing values that I have here with a blue header. You have all the elements that you need to calculate those missing values. So I advise you to use the Excel formulas to calculate the missing values. So you have 3 tables, 3 different campaigns. One is Google Ad, the second one Facebook, and email marketing. Each one has 1 point assigned to it. Then you have customer lifetime value, which is 2 points. If you do it correct, you get 2 points for that. And you have the instructions here, and then you calculate the lifetime value, and then with that value, you calculate the customer lifetime value. Good luck, and I'll talk to you next week.